This is the Red Sox POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Boston Red Sox, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, plenty of run support early on for the Red Sox on Crochet Day. The Sox in the series opener north of the border put a thumping on the Blue Jays. We welcome you to our latest Locked On Red Sox postcast. I'm Steve Lennox, longtime play-by-play announcer, show host. Have painted the word picture in the minors, in the big leagues, and the World Baseball Classic, College Baseball, Senior League World Series on ESPN networks. Proud to say that Red Sox skipper Alex Cora was my broadcast partner in Bangor, Maine, way back in 2016. We are providing reaction to every Red Sox game on the Locked On Red Sox YouTube channel, as well as the Locked On Red Sox podcast feed, which you know is free and available wherever you get your podcast. On our latest Locked On Red Sox postcast, we're discussing 5 home runs, and Jarren Duran got things going with his first leadoff home run to start a game this season. Red Sox had 5 total against Toronto pitching in the series opener. We do want to hear from you. Participation is a must. We want to hear from our everydayers and our first-timers as well. Join the conversation watching live on the Locked On Red Sox YouTube channel. Hit that comment button, and again, join the conversation. Follow me on the X at Lennox on Baseball with questions, comments, or concerns. Our latest Locked On Red Sox postcast brought to you by Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. Turn any TV into your Xbox. No console needed. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to learn more. So, the Red Sox coming off a series where they took 2 out of 3 from the Guardians in Cleveland, much deserved off day on Monday, and back at it on Tuesday, the first of 3 in Toronto. And wouldn't you know it, Jarren Duran, 7 hits in the previous 2 games, leads off the game with a home run, and that was the Red Sox start to 5 home runs in the game. Alex Bregman also going deep in that first inning. In the second inning, the Red Sox just kept hitting home runs. Kristian Campbell, home run number 4 on the season, another solo shot to make it 3-0. Rafael Devers, a solo shot in the third, and then 3 batters later, Wilyer Abreu, a 3-run shot to make it 7-0. And the Red Sox just kept pouring on as they win big against the Blue Jays, adding runs late, a run in the 8th inning, and 2 more runs in the 9th inning as they continue to really start to go in the right direction. This is one of the things I want to talk about because this is noticeable and this is great and a great sign for the Red Sox.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Well, the Red Sox again picking up the victory, and with the win against the Blue Jays, they've had success in Toronto over the last 2 seasons, but with the win against the Blue Jays, the Red Sox continue to win on the road. The Red Sox have now won 5 of their last 6 games away from home and are now a game over 500. They're 3-1 on this current road trip and 9-8 now on the road this season. They've started off better at Fenway this year than they did March, April of last year. In fact, again, they didn't play winning baseball at Fenway in 2024, and that was a big part of the team going 81-81 overall. But Garrett Crochet gets the early run support, pitching against the Blue Jays for the 2nd time this season. And Crochet did exactly what you want from a starting pitcher when he staked to an early lead. He pounded the strike zone. He gave up the 2-run home run to Vladdy Jr. in the 3rd inning. And Crochet, First Nesson reference, Dave O'Brien, Will Middlebrooks, they were almost beside themselves a couple of times as Crochet should have been out of a couple of innings where he was squeezed by the home plate umpire. Now, overall, he kept his poise during the course of his outing. 7 innings of 2-run baseball. He picks up the win, his 3rd on the season. And more importantly, the Red Sox win on Crochet Day because they did not last time out. You do not want to waste starts by Garrett Crochet, the guy right now who you're paying to be the ace of your pitching staff and who is pitching like that. Through 94 pitches. And they showed him in the dugout at Rogers Center talking with pitching coach Andrew Bailey, and he might have been trying to talk himself into an 8th inning. I don't think it's necessary right now. Gave him 7, well beyond a quality start, 2 runs allowed, walked 3, but again, there were a couple of pitches, there were 2 strikes where he just seemed to get squeezed. I mean, there was one pitch to a righty batter, forget who it was, but it was right there. I mean, the ball with the K zone was completely inside the box. But Crochet, again, didn't Didn't necessarily, didn't go crazy with the umpire, anything like that. 5 home runs in the win. 3 hits for Bregman. Trevor Story had a base hit. Entered the game 1 for 25. It was Bregman and Story in front of Abreu when Abreu hit his three-run shot. And they just attacked. I mean, it was BP from Bowden Francis, who I was really impressed with last year. There were a couple of times last year he took no-hitters late in the games and lost it. One was against the Mets, lost no-hit bids late in games last year on home runs. But I mentioned Bregman, 3 hits. Abreu, 3 hits, 3 RBIs. Great to see. Kristian Campbell, on-base machine Sunday in the series finale against the Guardians. 2 more base hits. He walked once, had a couple of runs batted in, had that home run that I mentioned, and also had a double. I mean, Kristian Campbell, each game does something that just opens up your eyes. Defensively at second base, every single game, more and more comfortable at the position. Casas, a couple of base hits. Only guy in the lineup in the starting lineup who didn't have a hit, the catcher, Carlos Narvaez. And I'm okay with that. Rafaela was the only guy without a base hit. I apologize right there. Rafaela 0 for 5 with a run scored. And Alvarez did have a base hit, 1 for 4. But Cedar Rafaela, sort of broke out of it over the weekend in Cleveland. Takes the collar, but 14 hits total for the Red Sox. And you know what's a number of the night? We get to numbers of the night most of the time in segment number 2. I give one right here because Will Middlebrooks mentioned it. You collect 14 hits against Toronto pitching. The only 3 hits, 3 out of the 4 hits by Bichette in the leadoff spot and Vladdy Jr., who had the 2-run home run off Crochet. But the Red Sox struck out 5 times in the game against Toronto pitching. Over the last 10, 15 games, when the Red Sox strike out less than 10 times, they win. And again, another 14 hits and 10 runs. This is about what you're going to – I'm not expecting double-digit runs and hit totals every single night, but that's what this offense is capable of. That's where the frustration came into play early on in the season. But right now, this offense is clicking, and you're getting the pitching. And oh, by the way, and we get to your comments. If you're with us on the Locked On Red Sox YouTube channel, hit the comment button. We'll get to those in just a moment. Really looking forward to Wednesday night. And Dave O'Brien said it to Will Middlebrooks, and Will Middlebrooks is giddy about Lucas Giolito making a season debut and a Sox debut in Game 2 of the series on Wednesday. Then you have Houck in the finale on Thursday. If you get what you got tonight, Giolito, 5-6 innings, you'll take it. Remember, Bayo the same. Bayo 5. And then 6. You can take that from Lucas Giolito over his first starts. But if Giolito goes out there and gives you 5 innings, maybe 6, and less than 3 runs on Wednesday, Tanner Houck, let's go on Thursday. Let's get to the comments. Marcus, first-timer here. Marcus, welcome aboard. Appreciate it. Don't be a stranger. If only all our games could start that way. Yeah, 100%, right? Jarren Duran, I mean, he's don't say he's coming around. Jarren Duran is starting to lock in. He really is. Jarren Duran, first home run to lead off a game this season. 6th time he's done it in his Red Sox career. He did it 3 times last year to lead off a game with a home run. Bregman, the home run, extends his hit streak to 9 in a row. 5 home runs total, a season high. And Jarren Duran is the guy at the top of that lineup who gets it going, right? It's not all in his lap. But Jarren Duran, I believe it's the first time this season he knocks himself in with the RBI. I believe it's the first time reaching to open up a game. Top of the first on the road, at home, bottom of the first at Fenway. First time he scored a run when he's reached to open up a game in the first inning. Duran you could easily pencil him in for 100 runs. I mean, that number should be a no-brainer. As you got Devers, Bregman, and Story behind. And I want to bring this up for a second. Maybe you'll join us on the conversation. Again, Locked On Red Sox YouTube channel. And if you're with us on the podcast, maybe Wednesday morning, we're your first listen. We do appreciate that on the Locked On Podcast Network. When you look at the lineup, and I know I've been delinquent, and I haven't posted on at Lennox on Baseball on the X when the lineup's posted for your pick to click, and haven't had a lot of participation. That's okay. But when you see the Red Sox lineup first posted, I always go to ESPN.com. I'm almost bored with it. It's almost the same lineup every game. But that's kind of the way it should be, right? You've got an everyday lineup right now. Casas down there a little bit in the lineup. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But a lot to like about this victory. Crochet had 6 strikeouts, walked 3. I mentioned that. But 4 hits total. 3 of the 4 hits for Bichette and Guerrero, the top 2 hitters in the lineup. Santander still not hitting. Springer had a good series at Fenway a couple of weeks ago, and he's hitting .313, but he was 0 for 3. Kirk 0 for 4. Jimenez has actually moved down in the lineup, and his average is now at 171. I think he was the cleanup hitter in a couple of those games. And I mentioned it during the series where Toronto took 3 out of 4 a couple of weeks ago at Fenway. It's like there's nothing in this lineup past the top couple of guys at the top of the order. And they just didn't do a whole heck of a lot. 1, 2, 3 different guys striking out on 2 occasions. Kirk 0 for 4. He's hitting at .229. There is not a lot in this offense outside of Bichette, Guerrero, and you thought Santander picked up in the offseason on the free agent market. George Springer, 0 for 3, as I mentioned. He's hitting .313, but there's not a whole heck of a lot more in that lineup. And as I see him in the lineup, as I see him right there, if you watched the game, you saw the play probably. But if you didn't, you've got to see it. And you'll see it in the next 24 hours easily. And if it doesn't just pop into your feed wherever you're at, top of the 4th inning, Duran's at the plate. Dalton Varsho in center field. Trips, falls down on the warning track right in front of the wall, almost dead center field. Falls down, gets back to his knees. I think his right hand was kind of bracing and bracing him on the ground. And with his glove hand on the left hand, backhanded and made the catch. If that ball falls in, I think Duran's got an inside the park home run. And there was only 1 or 2 people who said that on social media as I was kind of looking at, trying to engage reaction to it. But Duran's probably around the bases. But Varsho, if you haven't seen it, find it because it was one heck of a play. We'll get into the bullpen and get into a little bit more of Giolito when we come back. Again, your comments, if you're with us on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, don't be afraid. Join the conversation. The Red Sox right now are on a bit of a roll, and it just has to continue, starting pitching, defense, and plenty of hitting with the season high 5 home runs. And our Locked On Red Sox postcast, we'll have numbers of the night coming up here in just a moment. Locked On Red Sox postcast, Locked On Red Sox, part of the Locked On Sports Network, your team every day, presented by Wonderful Pistachios. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios, one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1-ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better-for-you unsaturated fats to keep you feeling fuller longer. You may love the no-shell variety. It's the perfect grab-and-go snack for busy days. Whether you're snacking at your desk, on a road trip, or you just need a quick protein boost, they're always the go-to. And if you love cracking open every shell for that satisfying crunch, the in-shell options are a classic favorite. The fact that Wonderful Pistachios is a complete protein providing all 9 essential amino acids, these little green wonders do pack the protein punch. No shells of Wonderful Pistachios for the grab-and-go ease, the satisfying crack of opening each shell. It's like snack meditation. Whether you're running between meetings, dropping off the kids, Wonderful Pistachios are the snack that works as hard as you do. Get snacking, get cracking with a snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Locked On Red Sox postcast also presented by FanDuel. NBA playoffs are here. FanDuel right now giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you are going to receive $250 in bonus bets if that first $5 bet wins. You are going to love how FanDuel makes betting so easy, whether it's picking your favorite team or diving into player props, from three-pointers to steals to assists. FanDuel has so many ways to bet your favorite player props. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. Don't miss out right now. Head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. Sox with a strong victory take game 1 of the series against the Blue Jays in Toronto. And what I loved about this victory as well, the fact that the bullpen got the job done. Luis Guerrero, a couple of ground ball outs, 1 inning through 12 total pitches. He seems locked in, ready to go. Good start to the spring, then hit a bump on the road, ends up in AAA to open up. And, he's a right-handed arm that you want. And then Brendan Bernardino. 1 inning, 2 strikeouts. Struck out Varsho to end the game. And Will Middlebrooks touched on it late. With Giolito being activated on Wednesday to make his Sox in-season debut, someone's going down. I hope it's not Newcomb. I'd feel bad for Bernardino, but it seems like it would be one of those two guys. Newcomb, starter at the start of the season, and last time out in relief for the first time this year. But if you keep both those guys, you've got 4 lefties, and Dave O'Brien, as Will Middlebrooks, they were talking, that's a lot of lefties in the bullpen. So maybe it's Bernardino that goes down, and he's got to be on the ready to be called back up. But someone's going down with the move with Lucas Giolito, and you're going to see that for the Red Sox on Wednesday. That may have already been announced on the Red Sox postgame with Tom Caron on Nesson. Do not have the TV up right now, but it's going to happen with somebody. Because, again, if you keep another lefty, if you keep all those lefties in there, that's a lot of left-handed pitchers. And you bring them in the middle of an inning, they've got to face the 3 batters. And some lineups, you're not going to necessarily – you're going to mix and match maybe your lefty and righty batters as the opposition. But you may be able to group some of those guys together as well for later in the game. Red Sox, again, 5 home runs. And it was just batting practice against Francis. It really was. It was just absolute BP. Red Sox now have 38 home runs over their first 31 games of the season. That's top 10. I'm not sure if it's quite top 5 on the season. But you've got Giolito and you've got Houck for the final 2 games of the series. And you know what? You've just got to knock the Blue Jays in the chin right here. Win tomorrow, you win the series. You win game 2 at Giolito making a season debut. Then you've got Houck and a possibility of sweeping the series as well. And right now, the bullpen is in good shape with the 7 innings. And Giolito, again, if Giolito gives you 5, good. If he gives you 6, gravy, because I think you could bring Whitlock back for 2 innings, and then you've got Chapman and Slayton ready to go as well. And you really could still have that unless, it's been really hasn't happened this season. I want to get it to real quick. So Red Sox starter, Houck in the 16-1 loss against the Rays, where he went 3 1/3 innings. Newcomb 4 2/3. But it's been 5, 6, 7 innings. Buehler 7 innings against the White Sox. And it's been 5, 6 innings for the most part. It was 4 straight starts with 5 innings from the starter. Last 2 and previous 2, Buehler and Bayo both going 6, and Crochet again gives you the 7. And if you want the definition of an ace, that was Garrett Crochet. 7 innings. Even if you'd given up the 3 runs in his outing, would have been all right with that. But where you could have easily have gone Guerrero another inning. But Bernardino gets the inning and may be on his way down. We'll have to wait and see. Giolito going in game 2. Going to love to see it. And no real huge expectations right now for Lucas Giolito. Just go out there, and you don't have to be the ace of the staff right now. You don't have to be the stopper. You're going to make your season debut, your Red Sox debut, after a victory. Just go out there and pitch. You saw what Crochet was able to do from the left side. Go out and do it tomorrow. And then you've got Houck. And again, Tanner Houck, double secret probation for me, and I think a lot of Red Sox fans right now. Tanner Houck has to deliver here for the Red Sox. Really does. Let's go with this.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Yeah, we gave you some numbers of the night. Jarren Duran, at-bat of the night for me, as he leads off the game with a home run, the first of 5 home runs, first 4 solo shots, and then Wilyer Abreu with the 3-run shot to make it a 7-0 ball game, and the Red Sox tacking on runs late as they win it 10-2 against the Toronto Blue Jays, who are now 13-15 on the season. And I'm not sure what to make of Toronto right now. they should be better. I mean, they celebrate and they signed Vladdy Jr. to the extension, and that was before the series at Fenway a few weeks ago. But they haven't really done a whole heck of a lot to think that they're going to be a top-tier AL Eastern Division team this year. Giolito, and looking at the scheduled starters, undecided for the Blue Jays going into Tuesday. Not sure who that's going to be. I mentioned Houck and Jose Barrios pushed back a day, I believe. So he's going to go on Thursday in the series finale. Red Sox pick up the victory. We're going to be on board with you, hopefully talking about a strong Giolito performance for Game 2 of this series on Wednesday. We'll be on board with you within minutes of the final out of the middle game of the 3-game set. Red Sox win on Wednesday with Giolito on the mound, and they'll clinch the series against the Toronto Blue Jays after losing 3 out of 4 against Toronto at Fenway earlier this month. So again, on board with you within minutes of the final out Wednesday night with our latest Locked On Red Sox postcast. Locked On Red Sox, number one place to hang out immediately after every game. Locked On Sports, your team, your Red Sox every day.